Since you left, I've been holding on to a memory since you walked out that door. Welcome to episode 3 of Sellouts, the podcast for MGK fans by MGK fans. I'm your host, Mike Kyle, and today I'm joined by a super special guest. You may have seen his art posted throughout EST and part of the MGK community, Anthony Goodrich. Anthony, how you doing, my man?
I'm doing fantastic.
Awesome.
How are you
Now,
doing?
I'm solid. We've been, talking about having this podcast now for give or take a week or so. I'm so glad how fast we were able to make this happen. And so you do incredible art, and we'll get into that in just a moment. But Anthony, tell us, who are you? What do you do? And just a little bit about your MGK backstory.
Well, I am a graphic designer. I do art, I make art, and as far as my personality goes, I'm a very super chill, laid back guy. I also have my hobbies, which is I like to play golf, I like to go fishing, I like to do bowling here and there, and that's pretty much it. And with MGK stuff, I've it just sort of happened when that one day I was sort of having not really as much as a good day, and just randomly I just turned on the radio, and the radio sort of like came on. Have you ever seen that movie, Christmas Vacation, where that the where that they go out into the wilderness, and the family tree sort of has like a beam of light, and it's like all gold.
Yeah.
So on my bad day, that's how that I saw the radio, and
Mm-hmm.
I just turned it on, and the first song that I heard by him was "I Think I'm Okay," and it just sort
Oh, that's
of
perfect.
uh,
That's so perfect.
flipped up a switch, and then I just went into a rabbit hole doing research about his older albums, sort of like a time machine kind of thing of a Back to the Future moment for me,
Yeah.
and so the rest is history.
What year was that?
That was in 2019.
Okay, gotcha. So that would have been like right before, right after Hotel Diablo dropped?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
nice.
It
Cool.
was
So that's so
I think it was around September, or the first week of October, around the beginning of the fall.
yeah, so that was like immediately pretty much after Hotel Diablo dropped because that dropped, I believe that dropped 4th of July. Nice. So because of that then, I'm going to assume that Hotel Diablo was like your first MGK album. Like, is that your favorite, or what's currently your favorite album?
Oh man, I would have to say that my favorite album would be. It's tough to choose between Tickets to My Downfall and
Hmm.
Mainstream Sellout, because both of those two albums have such a unique sound to them. But if I had to
Yeah.
go with one, I would probably go with Tickets to My Downfall.
Why Tickets over Mainstream? What do you like more about Tickets?
Um, Mostly because it was like the start of my journey as an artist.
Hmm.
It just my my first art came from that album, so so that's why that I choose Tickets over Mainstream. But again, they're both great, tremendous albums.
And what really like got you, like, that's a great segue honestly into you and your art. So how did that start? Because the stuff that you put out, it's really cool and it has such a unique look to it. So what's like the backstory of how you got into like the graphic design kind of thing?
So it was so it was around this month, actually, October, and and it was the ninth day. I found out about a week prior to that Machine Gun Kelly was going out on tour for tickets,
Hmm.
and so I looked at all of the locations of where that he was going to be at, and I saw that Sacramento was on there, and and I went like, oh, that's super cool because I live in Sacramento, and
Hmm.
so where that he was playing at was at the Aftershock festival, and me, I've never been to a festival, so it was like
Hmm.
my first festival, and I've heard about Aftershock for a while. I've always wanted to go to it, and so I called my cousin Maddox, and so I asked him if that he wanted to go with me. So we went, and that was my first Machine Gun Kelly concert, by the way. And so when that I was there, I was looking for a poster that ties with him in the event, and I couldn't find one, and they didn't have one. So I just went, hey, I have an idea. Since that they don't have one, I will make one myself, or try to. And I did, and it came out like this.
Oh, you have it?
Yeah. So here it is.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. So I made it all on my iPad, and then I took it over to Walgreens for me to put it on a wood panel.
Hmm.
And the employees over at Walgreens saw how that it came out, and they were like, "Is that from the event?" And I said, "No." And they were like, "So how did you get that then?" And I was like, "Well, believe it or
I
not,
made
I
it.
made it." And they were like, "That's so cool."
Yeah.
And they ended up taking a photo of it, and they just like really admired it, and they were asking me questions like, "Oh, how did you make that?" And so I just said I just use an app called Pixart, and I also use Pixelate on my
Hmm.
laptop. So I just use both of those two things, and uh, and that's how I made that, and that's how that I first got started with me making art. And after when I made that art, I just like became obsessed after making that poster. So
Yeah.
I ended up taking classes, I ended up watching YouTube tutorials, and I just like really dug deep into it, and the rest is history from there.
That is literally the exact same story when it comes to almost the foundation of Pink Fucks, and specifically the hats that we're wearing right now. You can see I have the pink hat behind me over my shoulder. It was literally that. It was, hey, I want this thing. I was waiting for MGK to release it. He never did, and we said, fuck it, we're going to do it. And that is literally how the hats came to be. So that's really cool that we have a very similar story in that way, where like we want something, it's not coming, well fuck it, we'll do it ourselves.
Yeah.
That's really cool. So how, like, right now, where are you, I guess, in like this journey of graphic design? Are you going like to school for it now? Like, is that like your major? How old are you, Anthony?
I am about 25 years old.
Okay, gotcha. So is this now just like a little like side hobby, like that, like you just do all the time, or what's the plan if there is one?
Um, well, I want this thing to be my main focus. And
Hmm.
I'm also taking more classes on it. Right now, I'm going to an online school which is called Allison, and they have a diploma program. Um,
Hmm.
I have two certificates with that school already of completions for a 4 week course in both basic and intermediate levels.
Hmm.
So now the next big thing for me is to get a diploma for it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, that's awesome, man. I love that you were able to just take like this passion that you quickly developed, and now you're trying to turn it into something. That's so cool. Now, when we talk about your first MGK piece of art, that has now snowballed into something that is so cool, where it's being shared across the community. You've been making these awesome like portraits, specifically of Sophie, that have come out fantastic. Like, for you, right, being able to actually showcase your art to the people that you're making it up. Like, I know that you've were able to show Sophie some of her art on her Twitch streams. You actually just came out with 2 or 3 more pieces, and I saw that she was interacting with those. What's that feeling like?
Oh, it's just super surreal to me, and it just sort of feels like a dream,
Mhm.
like I can't believe it, and um and it just feels great, and it's like super awesome. The way on how that Sophie solve saw those arts was that, hang on, my phone is just disturbing me. I'm just gonna go ahead and turn it off. Just 1 second. Oh, okay. Now that it's off, now that that's put away, everybody,
You're good? No worries.
yeah. so so the way on how that happened was that one day I saw that Sophie was live up on Twitch, and
Mhm.
this was just a couple months after the first piece that she saw. It was based on the second Machine Gun Kelly concert that I went to, which was the show over in Anaheim. And so I went on her Twitch, and I commented that I made an art of her from that event of a poster of it. And so her mod from her Twitch channel, Mark Hall, shout out to you, and um, so he saw it, and then he forwarded it to Chris, which is Sophie's boyfriend, and Sophie's
Mhm.
boyfriend Chris showed it to Sophie during the live stream, and that was like the first piece. And I also have that one too here, actually, which is this one,
Oh, that's awesome.
and I did the
Damn,
same.
I love that you actually print your pieces.
Yeah,
That to me, that's the coolest thing so far. Is the fact, because I know a lot of graphic artists that they'll just post it on Instagram, or they'll post it, or wherever. Vero's really hot right now. It's like they'll post it online and they won't like really do anything with it. I love that you actually print out your art. That's
yeah,
so cool to me.
yeah. I like. I mean, it's cool to see something in digital format, but once when you print it out, it just feels
Hmm.
like it came
It's
to
real.
life,
It feels
like
more
it's a real
real.
thing. Yeah, exactly. So after when that she saw that, um then I went back and forth with her mod, and so we're both artists, and we go back and forth about ideas, and we just learn about each other's styles, give each other advice and things like that. So so like that's also helped me too in a way. It's always good to have sort of like a mentor to like teach you things, and
Hmm.
like that. So I really love the EST community. They have a whole bunch of cool elite people, and
Hmm.
everybody to each other about the EST community. I don't look at it as just not only a family, but I also look at it as sort of like a team, to where that everybody believes in each other to just lift each other up, to make themselves be the best that they could possibly can be, and that's what that I love about EST.
Yeah, and like speaking of EST, how has EST like helped your art? Are they giving you like suggestions or ideas? Are they just like sharing it all over the place? Like, what's that interaction looking like right now?
It it's great. A lot of it comes from with that I come up with ideas, and I get color suggestions, and like things like that, and I will look at a photo, and and somebody on Twitter would just reach out to me and go like, hey, this would be cool if you did this. Use
Hmm.
use use this type of style, use this type of colors, use this type of font,
Hmm.
whatever what that it is, what that the case that may be. I I would I would take their suggestions and I would run with it. And sometimes I would just alter it to just sort of make it more vibrant and more
Hmm.
bigger.
Yeah, you have a very cool, like, vibrant style. A lot of your stuff, you either go pretty heavy into like the purple, and it's like a lot of like these kind of poppy purple colors. I know orange and red's a really big one for you as well because that just pops off the page. What's your favorite style kind of that you've done?
Oh man, I really like uh I I I really like Nick. I really like the film because it's sort of like an older style. So I try to mimic that. With that one Anaheim poster that I just showed you, with that one, I was kind of
Mhm.
going for also oil, but like also kind of like a watercolor too,
Yep.
basis. So I really like both of those two styles of art because they had both been around forever. Um,
Hmm.
and I would also like to kind of experiment with in the future of what that I would like to do. I would try to do some backlights, which is another
Yep.
popular style that a lot of people like. I would like to do that, and I would also like to do sort of like a Banksy type graffiti style.
Hmm.
I would really like to learn both of those too. Um,
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
but yeah,
How long do these pieces take for you to make?
anywhere from between 8 to 10 hours.
Okay. Yeah, so you're looking at if you're spending all day on one, you're lucky to get it done in that one day.
Right,
So normally that two-ish, 2 to 3 days, I'll say, to make a piece.
right. Um, the
Cool.
the longest piece that I have done, which took me about like 3 days for me to make, and it would be this one, which is oh wait, which is this one, which is the
Let's see it.
Boys Lie,
Yeah,
which
that's cool.
features MGK and Avril Lavigne, and I made that one about about 2 weeks before that Avril got her star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame,
Yeah.
which was kind of co- coincidental and
Yeah.
sort of like a good omen. Um,
Do,
and
I was gonna ask for these pieces, do you print all of them out? Do you have all of your pieces printed?
I do. After each one that I make, I would print them up and then I would sort of put them in like a portfolio binder kind of thing, just so that I can
Mm-hmm.
go back and look and that too also helps me because it gives me ideas for the next thing of what
Yeah.
that I will work on to just be like, okay, here's this piece.
Mm-hmm.
What do I want to do for the next one to sort of like follow up with that? And after each
Mm-hmm.
piece that I make, I always challenge myself for me to top the previous one of what that I did with the next one.
Yeah, well, we actually have a very similar format here at Pink Fox where I just have a folder on my computer. It's not printed now that I'm thinking about it. And as we're talking, I'm like, oh, maybe I should get it printed of all these different like design concepts or things we want to do. And so I'm always kind of going back through there, trying to figure out if we just pull from the catalog or pull from the backlog of designs that we have, or do we come up with something new? So yeah, I totally understand with having like a binder or some sort of folder with all of your work in it. That way you can see like where the gaps are, what you can improve upon, or or should you go back to a style that you've done previously?
Right. Um, yeah, I like doing that. And another secret that I have with my art is that to help me get thinking is music. Like I will
Hmm.
listen to music while when I'm thinking.
Yeah.
And there's only two songs that help me think, which is "How You Like Me Now" by I keep forgetting the name of the band that who s- sings it, but the song was in the movie "Horrible Bosses" Part Two.
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
can't remember who. And the other one that I listen to is "Make Me Wanna Holler" by Marvin Gaye. So both of those two songs, yeah.
Interesting.
So both of those two songs help me kind of think and sort of get into like a detective mindset, and I just as soon as one of those two songs are over, I already got my idea, and then boom, I'm ready to go.
Wow. I'm very surprised that neither of those songs were MGK related. I thought for sure if you give me $100, I would have bet $100 that one of those songs would have been MGK. So it's very interesting that they're not, because for the most part, all of your pieces are MGK based in some way, shape, or form.
Right, right. I listen to MGK while when I'm working on them, but like
Hmm.
before that it gets started, I just listen to those two songs because the rhythm of both of them kind of has like sort of like a math li- like you know that scene in the Hangover when the Alan is counting cards, and he
Yeah.
sort of like has like these math things go,
Yeah. One
going
of my
on
favorites. Yep.
up on the screen. That's how it's like with me when I hear both of those two songs to to
Hmm.
like help me brainstorm for it. So yeah, so that's how it is with the whole baseline of how that I create on my art, when that I work on my art, and so forth.
That's cool, man. But at the end of the day, this is an MGK podcast, so let's shift gears and talk about our man just a little bit.
Okay.
So, few questions for you, and you said that you had like some story prepared, or that you had like some kind of answers in your head already mapped out. But I just want to like open up the floor here for to give you the runway in a concise manner. What does MGK mean to you?
Honestly, he means a lot to me. He has in, in, inspired me and sort of like created the like art passion uh, uh, for me to create art on my own as sort of like a stool, you know. And
Hmm.
and the other thing, his music always brings me joy when whether it be if I'm having a great day, I play his music. If I have a barbecue when the friends are coming over, I play his music. It's just his music just goes well with everything. He's a very transparent musician, and
Hmm.
he sort of gave me like a place for me to fit into uh, as a person with EEST, and the concerts are just super fun. Not only that they're a concert, but they're also like a show. It's so illuminating. It's so fun. The atmosphere is great. The atmosphere is super electric, and his concerts are like the absolute best. And and me, I've been to a whole bunch of concerts. I used to work at a concert hall over in San Diego at the Mattress Firm Amphitheater as a food runner, and all of those concerts that I've like seen, there's nothing like a Machine Gun Kelly concert. It's like next level.
That's right. There is nothing like a
Nothing,
Machine Gun Kelly
nothing.
concert. I literally have that as a title of a little piece of content I'm going to post to Instagram soon, talking all about that. So, how many times have you seen MGK now? Twice, three times? What's your
I
number at?
would say twice. I have only seen him twice,
Okay.
and um, and I can't wait for his next tour so that I can go and see him again. Um,
There we go.
Fingers crossed. I hope that he goes to San Diego, be because that's my hometown,
Hmm.
and I think that would be a cool place for me to see a MGK concert. So so yeah, I so the concerts are just great. It's just I just love the atmosphere, and I also love the see what that I do whenever when I go to a concert. Not not only do do I see the show, but I also like to see the crowd too. So it's like there's two shows
Hmm.
going on at once, and and
Yeah.
it's just and it's just like a great overall atmosphere, and it's a lot of fun. And um, you leave like sort of like a surreal feeling when that you leave the concert, but when you get there,
Hmm.
you feel like you're dreaming, that like you're not awake,
Yeah.
and there's sort of like this magic in the air.
Yeah. Is that so? I've experienced this with several MGK concerts, and I'm very curious if you've experienced something
Okay.
similar. There will be maybe a song or two off of the album, whatever one it is, whether it was tickets, whether it's mainstream sellout, that I'm fine with it, but then I hear it live or in concert, and now it's totally different, and I absolutely love it. Particularly with tickets, it was Kiss Kiss. Kiss Kiss was fine, and then Kiss Kiss live, infinitely better. One for mainstream sellout. Well, honestly, it was probably mainstream sellout. Uh, yeah, I would say that was the one for me where I was like, it's good, but then hearing it live, so much better. So for you, do you have any similar experiences with something like that?
Yes, that's I'm glad that you brought that up, because there is a couple songs that are different live than they are on an album, and for some reason
Hmm.
the live version sounds much more better than what was on the album. um
Yeah.
like for instance, there is two songs to me that sound like extremely different, and I love them live more than I do with the album. So there's two that really stand out to me. One is Floor 13,
Okay.
and the other is Blue Skies. Both of those two songs, they sound extremely different live than they do on on the album.
Hmm.
With them on with those two songs on an album, they're both rap, and they have the beats to them. But there's just something different and more heavier and more cooler with it being with guitars and drums, and I love that conversion of sort of changing from rap to rock, but it's still rap,
Hmm.
which is super
Yeah.
cool, and I love that. Um, I could only imagine of what that it would be like hearing all of his rap songs to convert in that sort of like style. It would be mind blowing.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's the thing that he's done a really good job
Yeah,
at. Considering I've seen concerts from other artists, other rappers specifically, and it's just very very different. Drake's one that really comes to mind. Um, like Kel's having an actual live band from the beginning makes the concerts and makes the music naturally sound so much better. There's not some AR, up, you know, halfway up the stadium pressing buttons and DJing. There's not. It's all the guys and now Sophie on stage just jamming out. And so you actually have this it's not a studio sound is really what it comes down to. Like the rap songs are not studio sounding when you hear them live because it's actual live music.
right, right, right. Yeah. One thing. another thing that I really like about Machine Gun Kelly is that he's very honest and he's very
Hmm.
open-minded and he's super intelligent. He's very smart and
Yeah.
he never sugarcoats anything. I what that I also like to do with him is not only listen to his music, but I also like his movies. I like his acting, and what really does it for me is his interviews. I really like watching his interviews, um, and I saw one interview um, where that one of his favorite things of, what that he likes to do is that whenever when he performs live, whether it be at the VMAs, billboards, and anything, he wants to play it all authentic to where that they're just like you said, no backtracks, no nothing, just play it live just the way that it is, uh, and just have it be raw, and that just goes to show that like you don't need all of these special effects and things like that. You just need a
Hmm.
band, music, some lights, some fog, some great camera work, and just less is more, and that's what that I love about
Less is
his.
more. That's right. That is the formula, which is very ironic given the whole production element of his shows. But that's a great way to put it. I really really like that. Um, let's go into just some very like get to know Anthony kind of
Okay.
questions. All right. So we already talked. You know, you're right. Your favorite albums. We like Mainstream Sellouts. We like Tickets a lot. Your first album was Hotel Diablo. Do you have a favorite MGK song?
Ooh, man, that's tough. There's a whole bunch of good ones. Well, if I had to pick a favorite at the moment, I would say probably Paper Cuts. Yeah, at the moment.
Really?
Yeah.
Why's that?
I just like the heavy guitar sound that it comes with,
Hmm.
and I like the attitude about it. I like how it sends out sort of like a message. You know, negativity doesn't matter. Positivity is is a thing of what that the world should be focusing on instead of negative aspects and negative vibes and energy. Just take all that negative stuff and just throw it in the garbage and just be positive, and
Hmm.
it's important to live life that way. So yeah, so that's why that I pick Paper Cuts at the moment.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Paper Cuts for me is actually one of those other songs that I'm like, all right, like it's good, it's solid, and then you hear it live, especially on the live version. They add the extra guitar solo, I believe it
Mm-hmm.
is at the end, and infinitely better, infinitely better. So I love that he added the live version from Red Rocks on Mainstream Sellout, the deluxe version. So Kels, thank you for that. I really appreciate it. And actually, now that we're kind of here and we're in this space, we know Anthony a little bit more. Do you want to play a fun little game here, real quick? It's gonna
All
be
right,
fun, I promise.
let's do it.
So, so what we're gonna do? I just have 5 rapid-fire MGK
Okay,
questions for you. Nothing hard, nothing over the top. We're gonna kind of get to know you a little bit, and then we'll get up out
sounds
of here.
good.
Does that sound good? Cool. So let's see, Anthony. First question: rap or pop punk?
Oh, gosh, that's so challenging. I will go with pop punk.
Next question. Pink guitar from Tickets or black guitar from Mainstream Sellout?
Pink guitar from Tickets.
If you had to sing or rap one MGK song word for word or else you died, what
Oh
song would you
man.
pick?
Oh, um, probably World War Three.
Oh,
Okay.
good one. I like that. Um, let's go blonde hair or pink hair?
Pink hair.
And last question for you, where'd you get your hat at?
Pink Fox.
There we go. Anthony, thank you so much for the time today. Do me a favor, where can people follow you at? What's your Instagram handle? What's your social media? Where can people find your artwork
You guys
at?
can find my artwork at Anthony _ Downfalls High on my Instagram, and my Twitter handle is Anthony _ DFH, and my TikTok is Anthony _ Downfalls High as well. So that's where all of my content is. And I would like to give a shout out to you and the EST community. And I would also like to give a shout out to my friends, Mark Hall, who was the mod, and my friend Alexis, and my friend Nicole, and just everybody who has been there from day one, supporting my art and giving me ideas and suggestions, and also a shout out to my cousin Maddox for going to Aftershock with me. Thank you, dude. And I appreciate everybody, and I had a lot of fun. And Mike, thank you for having me on, man. I appreciate it, and also with the proper team and the right friends, you could get any goal and achievement, dream done. And that's the number one thing in life.
That's exactly right, and I'm so glad that we're on the same team, and I'm so glad that we're all part of EST. So everybody, follow Anthony. His links will be in the description down below. Check out his awesome artwork if you have not done so already. And also, reminder, Sellouts is presented by Pink Fox. Use promo code Sellouts at checkout to receive 10% off your order. Thank you for listening. Subscribe for more episodes, and we'll see you in the next one.